Hello, welcome to Business Reporter's Future of Retail campaign. I'm Ashley Blake. Competition in retail is tougher than ever. It's driven by technology and the hyper-aware customer who, whilst shopping at a store, may pull out their phone to compare prices, delivery options, deals, and other details before they buy. If they want to keep or even grow their market share, retailers must react to these new data-driven shopping habits quickly and effectively. The only question is, how? That's what we're discussing today with Sanjeev Salaria from Intelligence Node. Sanjeev, what has made business so tough for brands, especially since the pandemic?
I'd say it's the consumer itself. We like to call them the hyper-aware consumer. And what are they aware of? I mean, they're aware of their own consumption needs and how to go and fulfill them. If I take a grocery example, which could be really price sensitive in this inflation environment, there could be two types of shoppers. One that want to go out there and get the brand that they want, they're extremely loyal. And the other ones probably want to get a basket full of products that gets them to put 7 dinners on the table for the week. So that could be one type of hyper-aware shopper. The other one could be really informed and led by assortment or trends. Imagine the explosion of private label beauty, where young Gen Z shoppers are extremely aware of the ingredients that make a difference to one beauty product being different from the other. And they could get this information from their peers, from social media, influencers, micro-influencers. So that's another data stream that's flowing into them. When they go and find products for these consumption needs, it's the specific attributes. It's the reviews and ratings of these products based on what other shoppers have to say about them. It's the availability. All those elements are at the fingertips of the modern day shopper on their mobile phones. While they might be in your store, they might be online, they might be coming in for a curbside pickup or shopping in the metaverse. And I think that's the biggest challenge. The shopper has so much information available to them all the time in real time.
So essentially shoppers are using a variety of different channels and platforms to get their lowdown on best deals. But how are brands trying to adapt to the demands of these hyper-aware customers?
The short answer is they're throwing money at the problem. And that's not a great place to start. You know, they were quite used to paying for shelving space and sorting fees while on the physical shelf. And now when they get listed on large marketplaces and digital retailers, it's an endless aisle. It goes on forever. And even if you were the category leader with the largest selection of products, once you get listed on these large marketplaces carrying hundreds of millions of unique products, you not only get lost in the noise, but at best you represent under 5% of that category. So how do you even show up when the consumer comes in looking for that product? And that's the challenge. And throwing money at the problem is not the answer to it. I think it's having access to data that tells you where the shopper is, what are they searching for, what other options are available to them based on that category and that channel and that environment is the crucial bit, which can get you to stop making assumption-based decisions, move to evidence-based decisioning, and do it more profitably.
Okay, so if buying digital shelf space and rankings is not the solution, then brands need to change their strategy. But how?
I think what brands and retailers face today, the digitization caused by the pandemic, coming out of the supply chain issues, to price wars in this inflationary environment, there is no historical data point that you can go back to that helps you go and say, this is what I did in the past, let me learn from that and plan for the future. I think you need data that is in the now to plan for in the now as well as go forward. So that's one bit that you need to understand the larger market that is outside your own data that you have access to. B, it's not just good enough to have that data, it's the ability to react back to it. I'll put this into context. A large marketplace that we might all be aware of has the ability to change its product dimensions, which could be pricing, assortment, how they're displayed in the order that they're displayed based on the shopper. Personalization layers, consumption-based layers come in and they can react for about a few 100 million products in about 2 minutes based on how the consumer and the competition is changing their strategy. That same average response time as a blended average for the US e-commerce market is about 43,000 minutes. That's a month. And that same average response time for the US brick and mortar market is about 270 days. And I think that's what you need. You need to change that. You need to bring in a whole market first approach to how you source that data, but then bake in the ability to be able to react to it so it's still relevant while the shopper is engaged and ready to shop.
Okay, so you say it's about acquiring real-time data and reacting to it. How does Intelligence Node enable all that?
So Intelligence Node serves as that decision platform that helps our customers get a complete view of the market, both from a shopper's search and need perspective, but also what are the options available to them. But we don't stop just there. We give you then the ability to ingest that data and react in real time. And when I say real time, our standard SLAs are sub 5 seconds. If I had to take an example here and say you were selling running shoes and you got listed on a large multi-brand retailer, now you want to make sure that consumers can spot you and add you to a basket and complete that purchase. How Intelligence Node would come in is first work with you on figuring out what search patterns do your shoppers use. Is it just that running shoe category example? Do they discover you by your brand name? Is it a combination of those two and plus a size or a color that shoes comes in? And then would obviously come in the complication of, is it available in my zip code? And when will you deliver that? So a combination across those search patterns or a combination of those is what we help you optimize for, that you're visible there. And how do we do that? If you're not visible and someone else is, we go back and understand why were they better than you? Why was your competition winning that against you? And we'll understand their product descriptions and do they carry attributes that you don't. We'll analyze their images to see if there are finer details, product details shot. Is there information about the kind of fabric that the shoe is made of that might have a sustainability tag that the shopper really likes? Is it that they completely optimize their supply chain? Or is it a combination of all those elements and reviews and ratings on how other shoppers talk about that product? We bring a complete holistic view of that information back to our customers, help them optimize their own listings for each of those elements, and then keep updating it as the market changes. Plus, you don't have to do this manually. It's not us telling you there's an input signal, something's wrong with your listing. We would go and update that merchant panel directly for you. It's a complete automated process, so your teams can focus on finding the best possible products and making sure that the customers get their hands on them. We'll do the work of making them visible in the best possible format to your shoppers, irrespective of the channel or mode of delivery.
Finally, Sanjeev, can you give us 3 key takeaways from this discussion?
I'd say the number one would be, we all talk about focus on the shopper, but the shopper wants commerce everywhere. They're hyper aware and they leave a lot of breadcrumbs behind. And the onus is back on the brands and retailers to collect, harvest, and act on those breadcrumbs to be able to delight this hyper-aware shopper. The second one would be, you can't be operating in silos of your own plans. There's a larger marketplace out there. Your competitors change on a real-time basis. Your shopper needs change on a real-time basis. You need to bring that voice in. It's a must-have. It's not a good-to-have. And the final conclusion would be that it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be throwing money at the problem all the time. There is a lot of innovation tech out there that can help you win that digital shelf, that can help you win the shelf in general, agnostic of physical or digital, that you can partner with without having to build all of it yourself.
Sanjeev Salaria, CEO of Intelligence Node.